1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 123, Yankees at Orioles. Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We are playing a series tonight in the American League. In the American League East, a best-of-7 series between dreaded division rivals, the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. And we've had quite a run in this series. These teams started off by both winning their opening round league rounds of 5. So they brought winning records into the series. Let's take a look and see what's happened here. Game 1 in Yankee Stadium. It's Jim Palmer for the Orioles and Fritz Peterson for the Yankees. And in this particular one, we have a Bobby Mercer home run. We have a 2-run double by Ron Blomberg. We have a Leroy Stanton sighting. He was acquired in the Don Baylor, Andy Etchebarren thing with the Angels. Yeah, he plays platoons with Al Bunbury, and it's a home run, which is nice. But Jim Palmer surrenders 4 singles in the 6th. It's not Jim's day. 7 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. They get a couple more in the 8th off of reliever Joe Horlin. It's a 6-1 game in the 9th inning. 2-run homer by that kid Leroy Stanton again. Have the Orioles found somebody? Discarded by the Angels? It's really strange. Don Baylor's a right-handed hitting outfielder, so is Leroy Stanton. We know that Don Baylor will have a much better career. But the Orioles had lost Etchebarren in an expansion draft, and so they had to get him back, and it was the only way they could get him back from the Angels. Yankees win this one 6-3 behind Fritz Peterson. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, and Mike Kakich mopped up in the 9th. Game 2 in Yankee Stadium. What happens in game number 2? The pitching finally is sublime. Mike Cuellar and Doc Medich, the rookie for the Yankees. Bottom of the 1st inning, after a walk, Thurman Munson, 2-run homer. That's it for the Yanks. But it'll be enough, because Doc Medich takes a shutout into the 8th inning. A walk, a single, RBI single by Bobby Grich to make it 2-1 with 2 runners on. And the Yankees bring in Sparky Lyle to face Al Bunbury, who strikes out to end the 8th. And Sparky Lyle gets a save. A 2-1, well-pitched and played game by the Yankees. They're up 2-0 in this series. A Yankee team that was like middling around 500 in the lost years, the out-in-the-desert Yankees of the early 70s. And the Orioles, who are getting a little bit old, long in the tooth, but we're still going to the playoffs and winning a World Series in 70. But now they're moving into a new era where they don't win a lot of World Series for another 12, 13 years. So 2 wins for the Yanks. What happens when this series goes to Baltimore? Game 3. It'll be Jim McAndrew, stolen from the Mets organization for the Yankees, against Dave McNally. And the pitching is, again, excellent. In the bottom of the 1st, a 2-run homer by Boog Powell. In the 5th, a single double and an RBI single by Buford. It is 3-0. Couple doubles in the 7th, 3 doubles in the 7th, actually, off of McAndrew and Lindy McDaniel. And this game, Dave McNally, 7 2/3, 7 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and a K. He gets Grant Jackson to come on in the 9th and get a save. A 5-2 win. The Orioles desperately needed this one. And it is 2-1. Home teams won every game. So now we have the final pitchers for each team in a game 4. It is back up top for the Yankees, Mel Stottlemyre, as he had pitched twice in round 1, whereas Palmer did not. And he will face the number 4 starter for the Orioles, Milt Pappas. So that does give the Yankees an advantage. However, Poor Milt got a tough draw here. Top of the third, a single by Clark, double by Bloomberg, and then with 2 outs, Bobby Mercer does get a 3-run homer. That's a tough break for Mr. Milt Pappas. The Orioles get a couple singles and a 2-out double by Brooks Robinson. It's 3-2. The Yankees tack on 4 singles and 2 runs in the 8th to make it 5-2. Al Bumry gets a homer to make it 5-3. But in the bottom of the 9th, the Yankees are trying to get a save here and go up 3-1 in the series. After 2 outs, a walk and an error by Gene Michael. And the lead or winning run is at the plate in the pinch hitting of Leroy Stanton, who we saw hit 2 home runs earlier. But this ball is hit out to center field and caught on the warning track, and that is the game. And unfortunately for the Orioles, they've played hard, as have the Yankees, but one of these teams is down 3-1, and that's the Orioles. They could not even the series up. They're down 3-1, and they do not want to lose 4-1. After a day off, Game 5 will be in Baltimore, and then 6 and 7 in New York if necessary. We are back to Game 1 starters today, which is for the Yankees. Fritz Peterson, throw the curveball. Fritz Peterson, 15 game winner, 3.05 ERA in 274 innings. And for the Orioles, it'll be James Alvin Palmer. 1973 Palmer, 22-game winner, 2.40 ERA, and a starter 9. No homers on his card against lefties, which is great, and hardly any walks. One of his better years, even though I don't know if he got any Cy Young. I'm not sure if 73 was one of the Cy Young years or not. But anyway, certainly looks like a Cy Young year, if you ask me. Game 4 in Baltimore. Need to win this one. They keep sending us to Yankee Stadium. Fritz Peterson, Jim Palmer, Baltimore Memorial Stadium. Let's get started. Leading off for the Yankees, it is Roy White. 48, second X. Bobby Grich, one of a couple ones this team has. 1, 2, 3 ones in the starting lineup. Bobby Grich, a 1 second baseman, makes the play. Horace Clark, 47 is a K. And Ron Bloomberg, 1-3, rolls to the mound. Bottom of 1, it'll be Don Buford leading off. 65, pops the second. Paul Blair, 1-7. Let's take a look at Paul Blair's card from 1974. Interesting error for Paul. His defense will be brilliant the whole time. The other elements are speed, power, and average. And this is not the most average card, but it's the most powerful and speed card. It's 17 home runs and an ace stealer, along with a 261 batting average. So against lefties, 1-7 is simply gone for Blair. 1974. Gone, Paul Blair, 1-0 Orioles. Now it's Bobby Grich batting third today. 68, base hit. Orioles had to retool their lineup. They juggled it to try and get something going because they're down 3-1 in the series. Kind of a little bit of an unusual lineup. They aren't that particularly good against left-handed pitching, I have to say. Much better against right-handed pitching. But Grich is on. He's a beast stealer. Munson's got a -3 arm, so he'll stay there at first base. And your cleanup hitter is the oddly positioned Leroy Stanton, the new acquisition. This could be Don Baylor if they had held on to him, but it's Leroy Stanton. 46 off of Fritz is second X. Horace Clark's a 3E16 second baseman, and that is a GBA, a tough break. You can thank Thurman Munson a lot for that because it kept Bobby Grich at first base, setting up a double play instead of him attempting a steal. Top of the second, it's Bobby Mercer. 1-7, triple, 1-10, 2-base hit for Bobby. Elliot Maddox, 35's a walk, 2 on for Greg Nettles. 48 off Palmer is second X. This should be a double play out of Grich. And he's got to plug his E-ready in there. He's a 2E20 second baseman. No, he makes an error. Bobby Grich. Oh, boy. You're one infielder. That should be 2 outs. It's none. Now you got the bases loaded with nobody out. Playing back for Tom Hutton. Palmer is dismayed with his infield defense. The pitch to Tom Hutton. 68 is a pop to short. Now you got Munson. Now you're thinking bring the infield up. You can still get a 1-2-3 double play and prevent a run scoring. They'll bring the infield up for Thurman Munson. 68 again, but this time for a righty, it's a sac fly left. 1-1 on the sac fly. First and second, 2 outs. They move back for Stick Michael. 1-9 for Stick Michael. A single 1-18. Gets it. Reloading the bases for Roy White. Let's take a look at Roy White's card before he swings. 1971 was a very good year for Roy. He hit .292, 19 home runs, 86 walks, and E0 defense. His arm isn't very good. It never ever was. But the power and walks, base stealing ability, all very good. Big moment here in a 1-1 game. The pitch to Roy White. 48 off Palmer is second X, Bobby Grich, and this time Bobby makes the play. Bottom of 2, 1-1. 1-1. It'll be Boog Pal. Hey, you're Boog Pal leading off. 39 for Boog is a single 1-13, base hit on a 4. Andy Etch-a-Sketch, Andy Etchebarren, 49, triple 1-4 off of Fritz's card. It is a double. Boog Pal will hold up a third. Second and third for Brooks Robinson. They'll play it back with nobody out. 66. Short X should score a run. Stick Michael, 3-34 at short. And he's going to make an error. The Orioles got something going. Boog Pal scores. Etchebarren ends up at third. There are runners on the corners with nobody out for Earl Williams. They are going to play it back, looking for a double play. 45 is second seed, and that's the wrong call. He should have brought it up. It didn't work out. So now run scores. Now I got a runner at second with 1 out for Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine, 1-8 pops to short. Back up top with 2 outs. Buford, 46. Bouncer to second X, and again it is Harsh Clark, 3-16. But the 3-16 defense, boy, some bad defense today, folks. Single ... will score Brooksy from second with 2 outs, who had reached on an error. What a mess. No earned runs in this game, or in this frame for either squad. 2 outs, Paul Blair. 2-12 is a walk. We're still playing. 2 on, 2 outs. Bobby Grich. 49. Oh, we hit Peterson's card again. Triple. 1-4 double. It is a 2-run triple. And the merry-go-round continues. The Orioles bat around. Fritz Peterson thoroughly disgusted by this. But you know what, Fritz? No earned runs to taint your earned run average. Leroy Stanton with a runner at third and 2 outs. 46 is a bouncer to second again. And this time the second baseman makes the play. Mercy, the second inning is finally over. Some shoddy defense from both squads. The Orioles, the big beneficiary, they take a 6-1 lead. Into the third. It'll be Harsh Clark. 34, flies to right. Ron Bloomberg, 39, flies to right. And Bobby Mercer, 6'10", bouncer to short. This is Bobby Wine, a 2-14. The Orioles would have had Mark Belanger in this era. They lost him in the expansion draft to Portland. Portland trades him to Cleveland. And then the Orioles looked for the best defensive shortstop they could find. They don't care about batting average. They found Bobby Wine as a 2-14. Bottom of the third. It'll be, hey, you're Boog Pal. 62 off Fritz, flies to center. Etchebarren, 2-4, rolls third. Brooks Robinson, 68, is a base hit. 1 on, 2 outs. Earl Williams. 2-5, a fielder's choice. We go to the fourth. Palmer should be safe with a 6-1 lead, you'd think. Moving into the middle innings, it's Elliot Maddox. 49, second X. That's a hot action place today in the Oriole infield, and Bobby Grich is up to the task recently after messing his first one up. Greg Nettles, 1-4, flies to right. No, rolls to the pitcher, excuse me. And with 2 outs is Tom Hutton, 57, flies to right. Palmer's retired 7 straight. Bottom of the fourth. Bobby Wine. 55 off of Fritz, flies left. Buford. 57 flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Paul Blair. 59 lines the third. We go to the 5th. Munson bats 8th versus righties. He's much better against lefties. 65 flies to center. Stick Michael, 1-4, is a double to left field. Now it's Roy White. 67 is a pop to second, and with 2 outs, it's Horace Clark. 2-4 rolls to third. 6-1 game. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th. Pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bobby Grich leads off in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 is a strikeout and an injury. Well, that's not any good. Baltimore loses their second baseman. On the bench, they have Al Bunbury, Tom Chopay, and Frank Duffy. Well, I guess Frank Duffy will come into the infield in some manner, but I don't think anybody can play second base other than Grich. Surprise. He has an injury there when he had... How many plate appearances did Bobby Grich have? Yeah, only 693, but he got hurt. So he is out of the game after striking out, and Duffy will take over at second. Any X's to him will be an automatic error since he doesn't even qualify for second. That's what I usually do for backups on X's, just to punish that team a little more from not having a backup second baseman. So with 1 out, it'll be Lee Stanton. 58 off of Fritz, pops to short. And with 2 outs, Boog Powell. 57's a strikeout. So it's a real shame for Fritz. One really bad inning here, and the rest of the time it's been pretty good. 6-1, Orioles. Into the 6th we go. Ron Blomberg, 311, flies to right. Bloomberg and Mercer are deadly back-to-back here, and they like to get past these two menaces. Once you get past Bloomberg and Mercer, it kind of thins out for the Yankees. Mercer, 58, pops to third. And Elliot Maddox, 57 is a K. Jim Palmer's rolling now. Into the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Andy Etchebarren. Andy Etch-a-Sketch, 311, flies to right. Brooks Robinson, 66, bouncer to short X. Stick Michael, a 3E34 at shortstop. And Stick Michael makes an error. Second of the game. My goodness, some tawdry defense today. Earl Williams, 53, left X. Left field is a 2E0. You can't get an error on this guy, but you can get a hit. And you can get an out. 2 outs, and it's Bobby Wine. 65 pops to second base. We go to the 7th. Jim Palmer's a starter 9. Is there any defense we can add to this affair? No. It's all in there minus Grich. So a little bit better than the Orioles can offer. Less than the best. It's top of the 7th. 6-1 game. Greg Nettles. 2-2 flies to right field plus injury. Nettles is gone. The injury bug on both teams. They lose a third baseman. The good news is Stick Michael can play all the infield positions now, so he'll move over to third base for the injured Nettles at the bottom of the inning. Gene Alley taking over at short. Tom Hutton, 58, lines to third. And Munson, 411, first X. This is Boog Powell. He's a 2E7 at first base. And he makes an error with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Come on, Boog. 2 outs, it's Stick Michael. 64, catcher's card. Etchebarren's an E13. And he gets a wild pitch and foul out, but that will end the inning. Wow. Some shoddy defense in today's game, but it's 6-1. Palmer could have a shutout, possibly. Stretch time in Baltimore, where they're leading 6-1. We have been enjoying listening to Crack the Sky, live at the Warner Theater, I think 1974, 75 maybe. A band that was played quite frequently on the radio in Maryland during this timeline. This is a live performance of them. Warner Theater would be in Washington, D.C. A little tidbit there. So let's go now to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Fritz Peterson, you know, I'll tell you something. The Yankees have a fantastic bullpen, and we're going to pull Fritz after 6. It really wasn't Fritz's fault. But we just got to get his bullpen some work. So we're going to have Fred Bean come in the 7th inning. Look at this guy. Take a look at Fred Bean, folks. He is 6-0 with a 1.68 ERA in 91 innings, and he's a relief 4, starter 6. And he's probably better than any of the starting pitchers the Yankees have, so I think he deserves to play. What do you think? So he will play here in the bottom of the 7th and face Don Buford. 57's a K. Paul L.D. Blair, 311, pops to first. And Frank Duffy for the injured Gritch. 212 is hit by the pitch. Fortunately, you didn't hurt him. With 2 outs, Leroy Stanton. 55, short X. This is the new shortstop, Gene Alley. It's a 3.26. That's a single dot. Just terrible defense today. My goodness. 2 on, 2 outs. For hey, you're Boog Pal. 5'11. Pitcher X. Beans and E0. And that's an out. The Yankee bullpen might be the best in all of baseball. By the way, defensively, they might be the best as well. McDaniels and E9, Kekich, Fred Bean, and Sparky Lyle are combined for 0 errors. That's right, 3 pitchers, no errors. They got the best fielding pitchers, and minus Kekich. Kekich kind of brings the rating down slightly. He's kind of mediocre. McDaniel, Bean, and Lyle are fantastic. Baltimore's bullpen's great. Grant Jackson, Bob Reynolds, Bill Wilson, and Joe Horland. The last 2 guys acquired from the Phillies and White Sox. We go to the 8th. Jim Palmer cruising along with a 6-1 lead, trying to force this thing back to Yankee Stadium. It'll be Roy White. 66 off Palmer is a walk. Horace Clarke, he's going to do a hit and run here. And that's a fielder's choice. That didn't work. He was trying to, you know, shake things up. Low probability chance to make something special happen down 5, and it didn't work out. So he's on at first base after the fielder's choice, and it's Ron Blomberg. Let's take a look. We haven't looked at these guys yet. Let's take a look at Ron Blomberg before he swings here. Oh my goodness, folks. Have you forgotten about Ron Blomberg, the American League's first designated hitter? How great a slugger this dude was? This is 71. He wasn't even a designated hitter yet. In 71, he had 199 at-bats for the Yankees and played right field and first base with a .322 batting average. My goodness, what a stunning card. Here's the pitch to Ron Blomberg. 2-5 homer, 1-2-6 double right on cue. That is a 2-base hit, and Horace Clarke ends up at third. Second and third in a 6-1 game. Playing back, of course, it'll be Bobby Mercer. Let's take a look at Bobby. The only reason Blomberg didn't lead his club in hitting in 1971 is because of this guy. Bobby Mercer's magnificent 1971 .331 batting average and 25 home runs, 91 walks, 2 in center field, beast stealer, hits lefties fine and righties and crushes them. Has been in a couple All-Star games recently for me. My goodness, Bobby Mercer. Palmer just wants to get past these 2 guys, and then it should be smooth sailing. Second and third, 1 out. The pitch to Bobby Mercer. 6-10, short X. This is Bobby Wine, a 2 shortstop, and he makes the play on the 2 range. That will score the runner from third. No big deal there. And we have a runner at second and 2 outs in a 6-2 game, and it's Elliot Maddox. Let's take a look at him, because he's got a very intriguing story. Elliot Maddox, New York Yankee, 1974. Would you believe he is in the MVP list? Let me see if I can get this really quickly here for you. I don't know if I can really dial this up, but you got to check this out, folks. Let's go. I'm going to interrupt this game and show you some fun, interesting stuff about Mr. Elliot Maddox here in 1974. Might as well. The game's not that entertaining anyway. So check out the American League Most Valuable Player voting. in the year of 74. Remember, 74. Let's read you some names. Jeff Burroughs, he wins it. Joe Rudy, on the World Series champion. Sal Bando, World Series champion. Reggie Jackson, World Series champ. Fergie Jenkins on the Texas Rangers. Catfish Hunter on the A's. Rod Carew on the Twins. Elliot Maddox. Followed by Bobby Grich and Mike Cuellar. Elliot Maddox, there he is. Right in the middle of it in 1974. Where did that come from? I don't know, folks, but break up the news for Elliot Maddox, his claim to fame being the top 10 MVP list of 1974. And with that, we'll return to the game. He is at the plate with a runner at second and 2 outs. The pitch to Elliot Maddox. 45 off Palmer is a pop to first base. 6-2. We will continue in the bottom of the 8th inning with Fred Bean out there. Andy Etchbarren. 6-11. First X. Hutton's a 2-9. Makes the play. Brooks Robinson. 2-9 for Brooksy. Let's take a look at Brooks Robinson's card of 1971. Intriguing card. 2-9. Homer 1-19. Double the rest. This is gone. It's a home run. But what makes the card so unique is that Brooksy had 20 home runs as a right-handed batter and does not have power against left-handed pitching, which is bizarre. All those home runs, the 20 of them, maybe 17 or 18 of them, were all against right-handed pitchers. Very strange. And it is now a 7-2 game. Speaking of home runs and against right-handed pitchers, Earl Williams. 37 is a walk. He only had 33 of them. Bobby Wine, 1-7 is a K. And with 2 outs, it'll be Buford. 2-9 is a single to center field. 2 on, 2 outs for Paul Blair, who grounds a short. 7-2 game in the 9th inning, and Jim Palmer's going to take the afternoon off. He's getting up a couple runs. He doesn't need to get a CGSO because he can't. And let's go with Bill Wilson to finish this one. I like this Bill Wilson pitcher. They picked him up from the Phillies. 4-6 with a 3.05 ERA and 71 for the Phillies. Really good against left-handed batters. Nothing but walks there, no hits. And the Yankees traditionally have a lot of lefties. And here we go in the 9th inning. Baltimore has their defense in there and a 5-run lead. And it'll be Gene Alley in the game. Gene Alley. 1-5 is a strikeout. Tom Hutton. 3-10 flies to center. And with 2 outs, it's Munson. 2-11 rolls to short. Bill Wilson gets out of that easily. And the Orioles beat the Yankees 7-2. Almost had the home team win every game. And the Orioles could not win game 4, so they're behind 3-2 in the series. Bill Wilson in the 9th had a 5-run lead. He won't get a save. He'll get a strikeout, though. Palmer gets a victory. 4 hits and 2 runs. 1 was earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Only 2 strikeouts for Jim. Fred Bean, I talked him up, and then he gave up a run. He gave up 2 runs. 2 hits, a run, walk, and a K, and then another hit, walk, and a K to that. And then Fritz Peterson, the rest. 7 hits, 6 runs. 1 in the first was earned, but then in the 2nd inning you had an error ground out, so none of that's earned. Only 1 of those was earned. Unbelievable. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. 1-0-9, 0-1-0-8, 7-10, 2-4. 2-3, 3-4, 3-4, 2-3. Yankees put 6 men on base in this game. The Orioles put on 13, so they were the better team, deserved to get the win, I guess. Game 5 in the books. Kind of figured this thing would go 6 or 7 games. These American League East rivals know each other so well, match up so well, play entertaining baseball. Probably the only thing better than Yankees-Orioles in this timeline is Orioles-Red Sox in this timeline. Those games are phenomenal. That's most likely going to take you 7. Yeah, you got to put some time in your calendar to play those games. You'll be up there. You'll be up all night playing Orioles Red Sox. A couple extra inning games. Definitely going 7. Orioles Red Sox. So, with that, the Orioles are now 5-4, hitting .256 with a .253 team ERA. That sounds appropriate for them. Nothing really sticks out for average or homers or wins. It's just the Orioles. They hit .256 with a .253 ERA. That's what they do. 5-4. The Yankees are 6-4. They're hitting .235 with a .352 ERA. So we expected some hitting. They're not doing it. Mercer does have 12 hits. Elliot Maddox does have 11. Ron Blomberg is 9 for 25. That's also good. 360, 330, and then Mercer's 330. So the big three I just showed you are all doing well. ERA is a little bit high. Don't blame Fritz Peterson, though. 20 in the third, just 3 earned runs. His defense has hurt him. Stottlemyre's been good, too. The bullpen, Sparky Lyle has 4 saves. So good numbers for the Yankees. It's just that this division is very competitive. It's hard for any of the Orioles, Red Sox, or Yankees to go like 10-1. It's almost impossible because they're playing each other so much and they beat each other up. That's just the way it goes. That's the fun of the carryover league. We've played 123 games to this point. The league overall is hitting .256 with a .319 on base, a .337 ERA, and a .136 whip. That's it for now. We'll give you the results of Game 6 or 7 if necessary in Yankee Stadium. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, we had some great baseball today between the Orioles and the Yankees. This is the box score from Game 5 in Baltimore, where the Orioles behind Jim Palmer beat Fritz Peterson, the game you just saw, 7-2 to pull themselves within a game of the Yankees. Yankees up 3-2. All you have to do is go home to Yankee Stadium and win a game. We got some great baseball to show you. And it's interesting because in Yankee Stadium, Baltimore's going to throw 2 lefties on the mound, and the Yankees are going to put 2 righties on the mound. Let's see what happens. You don't want to. You'd like to put lefties on the mound like Baltimore does. Here it is, Game 6. Mike Cuellar against Doc Medich, the young rookie. And this one is a thriller. Early on in the first, Medich is roughed up. A walk, RBI single, and another RBI single by Boog Powell and Mr. Bobby Grich. 2-0 Orioles. But the Yankees come right back off of Cuellar with a single, a walk, a single, RBI single by Greg Nettles on a walk. Both teams left runners on board in the first inning. Could have been worse. So it's 2-1, and you think it's going to be maybe a slugfest? No. It's going to settle down nicely to another pitcher's duel. Bottom of the 6th inning. An error by Mike Cuellar. Then 3 singles ties this game. There's bases loaded, nobody out in a 2-2 game. He gets Roy White to pop out, and then the runner at third base is a fly ball hit out to Bobby Mercer. It's a fly ball to right field. Al Bumbry has a noodle +2 arm in right field. Fred Kendall tries to tag up on a 14. And he's thrown out at the plate to preserve the 2-2 tie. Wow. So they tried to tag up on the +2 arm outfielder. It didn't work. It stayed 2-2. And it stayed that way through 9 innings. Dr. Medich, 9 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. Did retire. He didn't give up a hit since the 2nd inning. He only gave up, those 4 hits in the first 2 frames. Mr. Cuellar, 9 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, only 1 was earned. Did walk 7, struck out 4. So in the 10th inning of a 2-2 tie, it's the closers. It's going to be Sparky Lyle runs immediately into trouble. Walks Bumbry, a single by Buford. Then you get RBI singles by Brooks Robinson and Boog Powell. It's 4-2 Orioles. In the bottom of the frame, Bob Reynolds comes in to close this game out. Gets 3 straight outs. Gets pinch hitter Ron Blomberg out to end the game. Road win. Love to see road wins for teams. That's my measure of who is really good. And the Orioles got a road win in Yankee Stadium. And that is their 2nd straight win to even the series 3 apiece. So what happens in game number 7? Wow, another thriller, folks. Great baseball in the American League East. It is Dave McNally for Baltimore. Mel Stottlemyre for the Yankees. Bottom of the first, Roy White leads off with a single. A double by Mike Hirschberger. And then you get a Bobby Mercer sac fly. It is 1-0. It will stay that way. 1-0 until the 6th inning. When the Orioles, a team that hits plenty of home runs, though they haven't done anything this year power-wise. They've been punch and Judy hitters. Buford had 19, Grich had 19, Bumbry had 9, Brooksy had 20, Boog had 25, Earl Williams had 33, Blair had, I think 17. Finally, Don Buford with a solo shot and Al Bumbry with a solo shot. It is 2-1, but Mel Stottlemyre puts his foot down after that. That's all he would give up. The Yankees have their chance against McNally. After 2 outs, a single by Mercer in the 5th inning, he gets thrown out stealing by the weak arm of Earl Williams. A leadoff double by Munson in the 6th, he's stranded there. A leadoff single by Gene Alley in the 7th, he's stranded there. A 1-out, Munson reaches on another error by Bobby Grich. He's stranded there. It goes into the bottom of the 9th. The Orioles say, we've done enough magic with Dave McNally. Let's pull him after 8 innings. Let's go straight to our closer, Grant Jackson. And you might go, why not the right-hander after your left-handed started? And that's because they want to keep Ron Bloomberg on the bench. You don't want this guy batting in this game, the .322 hitter. So let's keep the lefty slugger on the bench with another lefty reliever. Grant Jackson, after getting 2 outs in the 9th inning, Horace Clarke on his own card on the roll of 1-3 against lefties. Homer, 1-7, double the rest. He rolls a 10 and gets a double the rest. That's how close we came to extra innings here. Roy White with 2 outs, tying run in scoring position, grounds out to short to end the game. Baltimore wins Game 7, 2-1. Break up the Orioles. They came back and rallied from 3-1 in this series to win the last 3 games and win the series 4-3. This is the best series I've played yet in the year 2023, and hopefully we'll get more hot series like this as teams start to tweak their lineups and their rotations and substitution patterns, and the baseball improves as the weather gets warmer and we get more looks at these cards. So Orioles and Yankees, great series. It went 7. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Congratulations, Orioles, winning the series 4-3. We'll see you next time.